I'm Terence from.
Thank you.
You say I'm beautiful.
Yeah.
Be careful. You will be gone by the time you leave.
Okay. Okay, I'm Terence from Tech. So I'm going to show you firstly how this machine works, right? I'm just going to explain to you, right? Now, you can see outside there's a JoJo tank, right? That is the raw water tank. It means the before purification water. So from your borehole or municipal water, it's filled up into that tank. Then from that tank, we have a pump. The pump is usually on the machine, but because it's far away, we remove the pump from here and we put it next to the tank in order for it to pump the water to this machine. So all the other machines, it should be on the machine, right? Because of the distance, we had to do some maneuvering around. So they removed the raw water.
I didn't know about that, sorry.
Right?
I didn't know about that.
Okay.
That's expensive.
No, it's normally, see the holes are there, it's missing from it. So we remove the pump here, we put it next to the tank. So from the tank, the water is being pumped, there's pipes running around the wall. And then from the pump, it's going through these two vessels. So we have two fiberglass vessels. Now, just like a swimming pool, you know with a swimming pool, you have to backwash every time. So that you don't have to keep on changing filters. You'll just backwash each time. So one of these two vessels have two different functions. One has got sand in it. Sand or glass? Glass. Okay, glass is a better media. It does better filtration than sand. Lower microns, so kind of it catches more dirt. So we have glass, and then we have activated carbon. Activated carbon is to remove taste and odor from the underground water. Now the carbon that we had some issues because of the supply. The carbon had some funny smells, but we've replaced all of that. Right? So these are the two pre-filters, and then you can see they have valves on top. Right? So.
You still have another.
You have arrived. When you are me.
So, if I don't know if you guys know with the swimming pool filter, you have to manually turn the valve to rinse, backwash. That is called a manual filter. This here is automatic. So our technicians, it comes preset every 3 days, isn't it? So every 3 days it will automatically clean itself. That's the function of these valves. Right? So it's not manual, it's automatic. So from the raw water tank, you got these two stages here. Then the third stage, there's a tank in the back here, right? Let me see if I can move it. Oh no, it's full with water. Okay, so there's a chemical that we put in there. That chemical is an anti-scalant. So what that does is, as the machine is running, it releases a little bit anti-scalant at a time, so that your membranes last longer, so it doesn't clog up the membranes. Now, from the anti-scalant, it goes to a big pump, which you can't see. We'll make another video and you'll be able to see everything clear from the video that we make.
Okay.
So there's a high pressure pump pumping it through 4 membranes. The membrane is what does the main job. All of these things are just to protect the membrane so that the membrane cannot get blocked up. So you're catching all the big dirt first, and the membrane is only doing the part to remove what's dissolved in the water. So after the raw water pump, it's pumping it through your membranes, and then from your membranes, the water is going into your stainless steel tank. That is your pure water. And in your pure water, from your pure water, you can see there's the water is being filled from the top. And then from the water, this is your pure water now, right? And you have another pipe underneath with a pump. So from here, you pump it into wherever your application is. Filling your bottles, putting a filling table, maybe you have a bottling plant. So that's basically it in a nutshell. So you can start asking me questions. Okay, let's go with the questions.
Can you repeat again? You said the function of the membrane is to?
The membrane is the most important part of the machine. The membrane is the thing that removes what's dissolved in the water. So, if you take a glass of water and you put maybe 10 teaspoons of sugar in there and you mix it, the water still looks like clear. You can't see that what's dissolved in the water. Right? If you drink the water, it will be sweet. Right? So, what happens is with the membrane, if you take, I'm using an example just to make it simple for everyone to understand. If you take sugar water, let's say we had sugar water in that big tank and pushing it through this machine. It will go through the filters. These filters will catch particles in the water, but they cannot take out what's dissolved in the water, which means the water will still be sweet. But after it goes through the membranes, when it goes through the membranes, you get two outputs. One output will be with no sugar, the water will have no sugar taste. And then you have wastewater. Wastewater will be maybe 3 or 4 times more sweeter because it's concentrating one side. That's why we call it a concentrate, and the permeate is the pure water. So we're extracting the pure water out, and so that is the purpose of the membrane, to take out what's dissolved in the water.
So that's when the reverse osmosis happens.
Yes.
From high pressure to low pressure.
Yes. And that's where you have your TDS meters. You can buy these cheap ones, like 200 each. You test your raw water and you test your pure water. That's how you know the machine is working. We test it by looking at the TDS, total dissolved solids. So
Yeah,
if you-
Jacob showed me the other day.
yeah. So you saw the difference between
The raw water
and the pure water.
Yeah.
So are you selling those TDSs?
Yes, we have them.
Okay.
They're very cheap and you can. But actually, you don't need it because the machine has a conductivity meter,
Yes.
which is even more better than TDS. It's
Much more effective.
much more. But this is on the machine. It's showing you as the machine is running. You're seeing what's the conductivity.
Then, how do you read those numbers there? Because
The numbers
that's
normally.
the one that
Okay.
confuses me.
So what happens is your normal tap water conductivity maybe 200 to 500 for big tap water all over South Africa.
Okay.
Borehole water can go up to 20,000. So due reading here is only your pure water.
Okay.
Normally, like it's below. Normally, it should be what it's running on.
Below 100. So,
Below 100.
so it drops all the way from 50. Anyway, from 50 to 40, you can read.
Yeah.
Okay.
So normally, if it's below 50, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
But when you're running the machine while the filters are new, it could run at 0 most of the time.
Yeah.
But we're saying if it goes up to, as time goes, as the filters get blocked out,
Sure.
it will increase.
Okay.
Okay.
So, any more questions? You can ask me anything.
And about when it usually just be here, how do you read and what's
Okay, now let me explain to you. Right?
Okay.
So, there's 3 meters here. But you all must notice questions because I'm going to put that on the video as well, right? So there's 3 meters here.
Okay.
Alright. So there's 3 meters here, right? The third one, we don't worry too much about it. Now remember I told you from the membrane you have 2 outputs. Now from the membrane you have permeate and concentrate. Right? Now this machine is designed to give you 1000 liters an hour. And as your machine is running, this is your flow meter. Gallons per minute and liters per minute. So 1000 liters per hour is how many liters per minute? Washington will calculate.
Please repeat.
1000 liters per hour is the flow of this machine.
Mm.
If your incoming TDS is below 2000, right? So this machine will give you 1000 liters an hour. So
16 point something liters per minute.
So what happens is, I explained to you that when the water goes through your membranes, you get 2 outputs, wastewater and pure water. Right? Now your wastewater, your pure water should be 1000 liters per hour. Right? Now this flow meter, as the machine is running, it's telling you how many liters per minute is flowing through here.
Sure.
Right? So liters per minute this. So we work out 1000 liters divided by 60 minutes.
16.6.
So this measurement should be just above 15. Just above 15 is what it should be running at.
Okay.
So when there's a valve that you need to adjust down here,
Okay.
you adjust that to 16, just above 15, or you can leave it on 15 to be safe, right?
Sure.
You leave that on 15 and then let the machine run. This meter here is called RO backflow. So the wastewater, what we do is to reduce wastewater. There's another valve in the back which we'll put on the video. We open that valve a little bit, so some of this wastewater, because we're using anti-scalant, we can do this, but it's not good for people who's not technical
To that, yeah.
to touch this.
Sure.
So rather leave this closed. You left it closed, just because if you open this and you don't know what you're doing, you block the membranes.
Yeah.
The membrane is an expensive thing. The 4 membranes cost about 10,000 rands. So the whole idea is to protect the membrane, don't block the membrane.
Sure.
So don't open this and leave that on 15. So what happens if you open too much? If you open too much and then your machine is designed for 1,000 liters, maybe you open it and you give it to double.
Yeah.
Now what's going to happen is your membrane is also going to get blocked up.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is to protect the membrane, let it last 1 year at least. But with good maintenance, with good cleaning and all of that,
Sure.
your membrane can last you 5 years. But in order to make your membrane last 5 years, you have to spend a lot of money. So we say even if it lasts 1 year, it's cheaper to buy new membranes than to go spend to hire a technician, hire engineer to come and each time to let the membrane last 1 year. Because people will argue and tell you membrane must last 5 years. Yes, but then you need to hire people that will cost. It will cost you too much. You rather let the membrane last 1 year
Sure.
and change it. You understand? So we're looking at cost saving. That's,
So membrane is like a filter.
yes,
Heat filter.
yes. So, okay, we can continue. You ask me all the questions that you have.
And now, if maybe the time comes that you need to change the membrane, must we come directly to you or through your
That one you'll have to ask them.
Okay. Now then, the relationship will end as soon as you guys start pumping with no gram. We'll still be there, but to liaise. But most of the time, things are going to be done. It's going to be a relationship between you and the tech.
So we try to make it as smooth as possible. Where you
So I hope by 1 year we'll still be having this.
So the membrane is specifically for this machine, so we can get the
you
membrane.
can get it anywhere, but our price will be the cheapest.
Yeah.
How much is it?
Our price is about 2,000 rands each for one front brand.
So then it's 2 membranes, so about
4 membranes.
4.
Yeah, just 4 membranes.
Okay, I'll pretend like I'm a client, right? I want to ask a question.
Okay.
How do you know that it's time to change membranes? Or how do you know that the membranes are blocked?
So what will happen is your flows will start dropping. Because now when you set it and it's running, as the membranes are getting blocked, the flows will start dropping. That is the main way of testing. You can also look at the pressure. The pressures will start increasing. Because then it's forcing more gas.
And then you get more concentrated, more wastewater as well.
So
What do you mean by your flows will start dropping?
your pure water
Yes.
won't be at now you're setting it at 1,000 liters per hour, and then as time runs and your membranes get clogged up, the flow will become less than 1,000. So the
It's going to be
800,
15 liters,
700, 600, 500. Yeah.
So it is going to move from this 15 liters per hour.
it will go lower.
Could go lower.
Okay.
So it's-
Because you said it must be. It must be just above 15.
16.6
Yes.
16.6, yeah.
So then we'll start maybe going to like 14 or something.
Yes.
14, 10.
As it gets lower, then
So the system will it actually introspect itself. So it does does checks and balances. So which means the most critical component that you need to focus on is that rating of 16.6.
not only that, when you look at the TDS as well, everything will, the TDS may start increasing as well.
Okay.
You know, like I told you, from it might start working. What are most machines running on?
On 50.
150 conductivity.
Okay.
But also buy a TDS pen because this is conductivity. The TDS pen is 200 rand.
Yeah.
You can test for yourself the TDS on the machine.
Okay.
So conductivity is normally like double of the TDS. So what we also want to do is, I don't know if Washington spoke to you, sometimes selling water, we like to give them full training on products as well. Sometimes we'll be selling water alone, may not be enough
Sure.
to do a business. You need to learn and be enthusiastic to learn more about water. It can turn out into a big business, and we're willing to give you all the training if you can come on a Saturday or whatever.
Okay.
So let's continue with questions.
So I'm not, okay.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure if my question would be the same as
No problem.
Washington's.
That's fine.
How do you know that you need to service the machine?
So generally, what you do is, if you see anything that's malfunctioning, so if you see anything that's malfunctioning, okay, let's come back now to repairs and servicing and all that, right? Now we've given a guarantee with the machines. Now with any machine, you're running it for business. As you get busy, the machine will be working non-stop. There's wear and tear parts. So the way we'll know when it's due for service is you need to send clear videos. Where don't just send a picture and then we don't know what we're looking at. You'll send a video, you'll say, okay, you'll say, hi team, you know what, my reading was 15 before, now it's dropped to 10. Please advise me what to do. Talk, and then we understand what's happening on the video. With these days technology, with the phones, you can talk and say what's happening. Video makes or if you want to leak somewhere, something may be leaking. Look, I mean, the machines are made by men, not by God, so it's not perfect. But we don't have many issues, right? So sometimes something is gonna go wrong. Make a video and say, guys, this thing is leaking here. What can I do? As much as possible, we want to try and resolve it over the phone. So as much as we give a guarantee, the parts is covered, the labor is covered, but we charge for traveling, right? Because when you buy something, you need to take it back to the store.
Sure.
You can't take the machine back to the store. You have to pay someone's fuel to come here and check. So sometimes we have to drive far, just come and turn one button like that. We've had cases where we had to fly out of the country just to do one thing. Now, all of that costs money, so as much
Sorry to interject you. Even if it's under warranty, you still have to pay
to
for
call out.
the call out.
Not for parts, not for labor.
Yeah.
But the traveling, you have to pay.
Warranty for how long?
How long warranty do we give you?
What was that Washington?
1 year.
Yeah. it was 1 year.
So warranty is there, but traveling is not covered.
Yeah.
We have to be fair on everyone.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the same thing that when you buy a TV from locals, if it breaks, you must take a taxi and take it back.
Yeah.
And I wonder when it's going to be effective, because the machines were delivered in August, but we started operating.
We can make it from the date of operation.
Yeah.
To be
So
fair.
I think it will be much more easier for people to start keeping records.
Yeah.
So that they say on this date we started doing 1 million liters,
Yeah.
so that we can be able to know that this is a state of operation
Yeah.
and going forward.
Okay,
It will be much more easier for record keeping and retention.
okay,
So that whenever you call and say, no, I've done 10,000 liters so far, but now I start to see certain other aspects that you talked about, including your maybe drop in your liters, 1,000 liters per hour, or any other readings that are going to be coming there. But any other thing that is going to be solvable over the phone, which might not necessarily having to include to do some replacement of the parts, then it should be in that aspect that can be solved over the phone.
So even if something goes wrong, I mean, see, there's moving parts all the time.
Sure.
Things can go wrong. But we're not going to charge you for the part if it's not due to wear and tear.
Sure.
If it's factory problem, then the manufacturer will replace us with that part, but the traveling cost.
Sure.
We need to, that's the only thing I think that's important. And obviously membranes can get blocked up if your water changes. So that's why it's nice to buy that TDS pen. For 200 rand, you're just putting it in the water, press a button, it gives you a reading. You've seen it working?
Yeah, showed me.
Okay. I'll make a video, make a note, Washington, we need to send a video how to use the TDS pen.
Okay.
Alright?
And then last time we were told that you will come and put the UV sterilizers. So if you put the UV sterilizers, will there be a difference?
UV sterilizer is just a light. Like how you switch on the light is a light. But it's a certain frequency in that light that kills bacteria. Right? Now what we normally do is we put that UV light inside the tank. So I know one or two sites had some bacteria problem. This machine does nothing, it doesn't add bacteria, it doesn't take out bacteria. All it's doing is, like I explained to you with the sugar water, it's taking out what's dissolved in the water. It's making two streams, pure and waste.
Waste, yeah.
So
Also, that UV light goes into this simple tank.
that's the one I recommend because then it's on all the time, 24 hours a day.
Sure.
If there's still bacteria, then you need to do other solutions. There's more solutions, but generally for municipal water, there shouldn't be any bacteria.
Yeah, but for those tests that we submitted to you, I think theirs were not more, they were 100% consumable without any bacteria so far. And then we only have got two sites that we have affected.
So they can put the UV light, you'll have to test it. That doesn't, because we don't want to put chemicals, there's many ways to deal with this.
Sure.
You can put chlorine, that will kill everything, that's what the government does. There's chlorine dioxide that you can put in your water to keep it fresh. But the whole purpose of the system is you're removing everything out of the water.
Yes. So
You're making the water
pure.
pure.
Yeah.
So the solution that we would use is then probably ozone or UV. We'll try UV first, but this has to be trial and error, it's not, we'll have to test it.
It's not going to be an instant solution.
And sometimes you can have water standing for a long period of time. Even if you have pure water, no bacteria in it, you leave it for a long time, it starts to get moldy and all of that. Like this pool water, it became like this, you didn't put any bacteria, it grew on itself.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, you just want to, when people are drinking the water, we want it to be as fresh as possible.
Sure.
But even little bit, there is certain, there's a form called the SANS 241. Remember to post it on the group as well, so everyone has it. It's the standards for drinking water of South Africa. So
Yes, that sounds 241.
yeah.
Yeah, once you give me that, but I think I've given it.
You can download it on the internet, just Google it.
Yeah.
But you can also pay for it and get one on your name.
Sure.
It's maybe 300-400 rand.
Yeah. Okay. But isn't that those lab results will be sufficient enough to?
Yes.
be
On our lab
confirmed?
results, we got the sense.
Yeah.
We're not SANS accredited,
Accredited.
but we've got the levels. Like for example, the TDS level for SANS 241 says the water must be below 1,200.
1,200.
And here you're getting 20. You're way below the limit.
Sure.
Okay, so
Alright.
No, what I was still discussing with my daughter is that I still have a problem with my tap. First, every morning when I open the tap, that yellowish color is still coming out.
on
Though
which
it's
one?
no longer dark
On-
like it used to.
On which one?
The down.
What the
On
status
that
of tap.
The one at the back.
This one, sir.
Actually,
This one.
Sometimes when we have the UV,
And then I must take about 5
5 liters.
10 liters and go out, and then when I come back and open again, it's now clear. So I've learned to use it.
I think over time it will get less and less because everything is still
every day.
Everything is
Last
still
time you attended to the problem, then it cleared, then it started again. But it's like,
But it will clear. It will be less and less. As you run your machine more, all that will disappear. Sometimes in the beginning, even when you have UV in the line,
Yeah, they will still.
when you open the tap, the water becomes hot.
Sure.
True. But as you're running the machine,
also another thing. Before they came the last time to fix the pressure problems, on the machine. When we had load shedding and I opened the tap, the water would come out. But now it's no longer coming out. So I don't know whether maybe it needs some kind of backup.
When you have load shedding?
No.
Which tap?
This one.
Okay, that tap works with.
Because when it's load shedding,
It works so that
our taps are affected. Then people will come and buy water. Then when I open the tap, water will come.
So what happens is, depends on the level of the tank also.
Yeah, the pump must be on. This pump.
Even on a more lucky.
That only works with electricity.
Okay. So when there is a load shedding,
Yes, only the load
after load shedding, then when you open,
operates perfect.
okay. So when there's a load shedding, which means you need to power the pump.
No, no.
Yes,
Yeah,
because that's
but-
when people come most that because their taps are also affected. Water doesn't come out in the house.
Do you have
So
the
they
tank
want to come
higher?
and buy water.
Do you have the-
It's like because now.
But
doesn't come out as
there is that blue machine. Have you seen that blue machine?
Yeah, the permission, right?
That one there.
Generator.
Not using
Okay,
it.
that blue machine.
Not using it.
And during-
and
And during load shedding, you
That's what
can.
it is. No, I see it.
We are saying everybody says it cleans it dust.
Even though I-
I'm going to keep wearing the things to the sun because I know if I can get it, but security.
Okay.
So another solution, another
If we had a tap on the tank, it was not great.
you can't make holes on the tank. This is stainless steel.
Mm.
Or it could be a possibility, but we don't do it.
So then so it
Put a manual tank.
But I'm just saying that the other level of water would have.
You can fill from the bottom, there's one more outlet at the bottom that you
Okay, there's one more outlet. What we can do is
you can put a valve.
we can put a manual tap there, so it doesn't use electricity.
Okay.
But that would be another
It's gonna be another
job.
job as well. And, but I'm just saying that because already a tap, the tank would have kept the water at the bottom.
Mm.
So the bottom water is likely to have some element of foreign substance. That is gonna have to come out. Like you say that when you open a tap, you find that the water is like warm. And as after you've opened it, it will come with a cold.
As the machine is
So it's
running.
almost the same principle. That would be applicable.
Yeah.
Okay, there was this other day when, I don't know, Jacob opened here. This. I'll show you. He opened it and something was down and he actually accused me of putting it down and I didn't know anything
That
about
could
it.
be valve failure in truck.
Oh, is it you?
It could be something to with the.
Can you please?
Did you also? They are almost, these keys are hand. Sometimes they're on the stop.
Yeah, it was here, it was
Normally
here.
they leave them on the stop.
I can give some more.
That's it. Can you open this part? Can you open this to be bought?
He will never be open the next week.
Okay.
So this-
I'm not sure, did you guys know what the one is?
This was down and he accused me and I didn't even know that.
It
this
could have
was
took
open.
with power surges.
There's power surges, you know, with the load shedding going on and on.
Also, when I should just often check it because sometimes I might say the machine is not.
If the machine's not running, then you'll open and check
The
it.
failure,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Because I didn't know that this was open and.
Because this is one is controlling the pump outside, one is controlling the big pump here, and then these ones are controlling these. So all of them are made automatic, so that it runs.
Okay, so I should just always check if it's.
You don't need to check that. I don't need
If you see
to.
the low power of the system, then you know.
Okay,
So if everything is off, then you look at that switch.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, we'll check. I will say let's key and maybe.
I was there.
But I see whenever I go to, I think I've gone to Tabo, the keys is still on the return button. With either strapped in with what is this?
They were like this.
They're actually strapped in that.
This.
Yes,
in here.
with that-
Now it's been reduced.
With a cable tie.
Yeah.
Now they're strapped with a cable tie, all of them.
Yeah, no, we don't have a key.
Even mine, I didn't know how to use the keys and all that until he took them and opened them and accused me of that. Like, how will I know?
Okay.
Because I don't even open when you kick it and I can help.
So I will have to check, the next I will check and see if there's a.
But anyway, the key is not important, but if you want one, you come to Madrid and we give you. Then go back.
That was the same.
So when we need
They're
the.
all the same.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the same. Yes.
So when you need that TDS, how do we order it? We order it
When you need
Catherine, I think. TDS,
TDS meter, okay, you can order with Catherine, yeah.
then pay EFT,
Yeah.
then it will be delivered.
Are you Korean, Katsun?
And you
Look,
gotta
look.
pay for Korea. Even if you come here and collect, I think that would be easier.
Because sometimes the courier to send to each person might be 200.
Sure.
Okay.
So, yes.
Okay, so you know how the machine is programmed to like do 1,000 liters an hour, right?
Yes.
So if we're not operating at that capacity, is it affecting the machine in any way or the water?
What do you mean?
Like I said, we're doing production for 1 hour a day. Yeah,
So-
No, let me understand the question.
Okay, so the machine is programmed to
You set it on your, there's a valve you can adjust that can make it go higher or lower. It's redesigned, the machine is designed for 1,000 liters.
Okay.
It can go a bit higher, but then the membrane won't last as long.
No, but my thing is, let's say it's sitting at the one that you said, right?
Yes.
1,000, but we're not operating at that capacity.
What do you mean?
We're not producing 1,000. Like the water's
You're not
just.
selling 1,000.
Yes.
Then the machine will work less time. It will work less time. It will, the speed it will produce is 16.6 liters per minute.
Okay. So
But
my-
if you're using 300 liters, at the speed of 16 liters per minute, maybe for 20 minutes it will fill up that,
Yeah, or let me put it this way. For every 1 hour, that's 60 minutes, you get 1,000 liters. So it means if you run the machine for 30 minutes, you get 500 liters. If you run the machine for 15 minutes, you get 250 liters,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Okay, I understand that. My question is, if you're not operating at that capacity, does it affect the machine in any way?
No,
or water?
no.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's a question that says, what is the correct setting on the dosing pipe? Is it 30F or 35F?
On the dosing pump,
We set it at 10.
10.
Can be at 10%. So that's 1 liter.
So what we're doing is we're setting the dosing pump,
Which one is the dosing pipe? Is that the one at the
the
top?
small green one.
Okay.
So there's a chemical inside there, right?
Yeah,
We give you 25 liter of a chemical, the anti-scaling.
Yeah.
sure.
Right? You take 1 liter and you mix it with 100 liters
Okay.
and you put it in the drum. So when it's in the drum, you set the dosing pump to 1 liter per hour. We'll do a test and just to confirm that and tell you the setting. Just make a note of that to also put it on the group.
Okay.
So we'll give it to you in writing where to set it.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay, so the machine backwashes every 3 days, right?
Yes.
Automatically. Let's say you want to backwash it
Manually.
2 days manually. How do you do that?
Okay, that we'll have to give you instructions. Do you want to explain to?
I'm making sure to shut up.
No, let's make a video and show it so everyone can get it together. You can do it manually here. You can even less if maybe your water was very dirty, a lot of mud in your water, then you want to backwash it every day. You can do that also. So 3 days is like the standard because it's standard set on that. So we can make a video on that. On how to, we'll make a video on it.
Okay, let's say I'm going on a holiday because it's festive season now.
Yeah.
And I don't have anyone to ride behind.
If you're going on,
I'm going on a holiday and I don't have like a helper or somebody to remain behind. I'm still going to
I would just switch it off.
wait
Switch the power off.
From the plug.
from the plug.
Yes.
Just to switch off your plug.
Switch everything off.
Yeah.
What is the movement?
No, which plug?
Like just
Switch
switch
the
off
machine, like our plan.
Switch off your
like that film shit.
And then switch to come and
No, just here the plug. You plug it on the
oh no, this.
And get on up and then for it.
Yeah,
So you just switch it
oh,
off.
That's
Like I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Do you want tomorrow?
But how long are you gonna go for?
Okay, you're gonna share this video with us.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I'm also going for
this
the
is recording.
Tomorrow.
Because sometimes you switch it off 1 month and go and come back, then
So is people going on holiday?
And
Oh,
I
nice.
Yeah, so what is solution in a career? So maybe.
You switch off your, when if you leave in the machine, you switch off your water, close the water inlet going into your system as well.
Sure.
You don't know something can happen, place can get flooded, or you don't want all of that. Switch off the machine, close off your water.
Okay, I got another client question as well.
Yeah.
Does the machine run 24 hours on busier days? Can it run 24 hours?
It can run 24 hours.
Okay.
It's not one. Oh. Please don't silent, please. So this machine can run 24 hours. But with anything, if you run it 24 hours, you're gonna burn it out quickly.
Yes.
So our standard use is 10 hours a day, which means you're getting 10,000 liters a day. But you're starting business, I don't think you'll have that kind of production. But in case you get one big government project with
Yeah, unless they have to supply Makanda. But then they can combine their 10,000 and 10,000 liters,
All the
all of
machines.
them, and they can do the supply. That's what I was saying, that, you know, it's to
10.
collaborate. So there will be 90,000 liters. So, okay, ladies, yes, sir. Good.
I've got another one as well. If there is no one.
You are saying
So you are the
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make everyone understand.
exposed,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
So, as the machine will operate more, there is bound to be, wear and tear, obviously. So, are there any parts? Do you suggest that we carry any parts, to reduce the downtime?
we can do that, but the problem is that the people are not technical to have the parts.
Sure.
Because normally automatically if you're running a business, now it's common sense. We have some guys, they're running a machine, they're telling me they're making 1 million liters a day, and one small part is broken, and they want us to go to Cape Town to fix one small part. Now that doesn't make sense. Common sense would be to have a spare part,
Sure.
whichever small things there is.
Yeah.
So we'll make a list. Like
Of
generally,
those things that are likely to be. But
yeah,
it was listed on your
listed.
on terms of conditions that small pumps may be costing about $500 or so.
it's not
So
worth.
it's-
I mean,
yeah.
it's sometimes when you're running a business, you need to have small things. But generally with these things, once they're running, they're running.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I've got plumbers here at home.
Yeah.
So will it be wise if maybe I need something urgent that happened there?
You can use them, but
Use
we'll
them.
advise them. If they can't do it, then we'll tell you we need to send someone out.
Okay. Because I just need to know first before I could.
We'll video call and then we'll try to do it over the phone.
Over the phone, yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
thank you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
So why is there at the pressure, low pressure and whatever high pressure the lights not on? The comments
It's off.
It's all.
or it was
It's off now, yeah. Just to demonstrate, because it's not necessarily able to operate the machine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just make it like
No, we don't have power.
because I feel like I'm good.
Even if we have power, we can
All
understand
like
each
it
other.
does was stay, but it's off.
Yeah. Okay, so we cool with we covered.
And I'm covered.
Alright.
It's okay.
Okay, guys, we covered. Are you okay?
Yes.
I'm not kidding those ones.
Okay.
With the-
Oh, the Zoom.
On the Zoom,
Ashuru, are you okay? Grace, we're about to close.
So I just want to explain one more thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alright.
I'm okay, sir. Thank you.
Sure, sure.
Kathy, can
I actually have a
Yeah.
small question.
I? No problem.
Is there a piece of advice that you can give about like how to make sure that like the machine is always like in order and we don't have to video call you guys?
So maybe send us how to make sure. you'll have to keep on
You have
checking.
to keep checking.
Just keep on checking your pressures and your meters. If anything is going off, any noises, don't let it run. You know, try to fix something before it breaks.
Sure.
So another thing is like now you've got the machine filling water, and you've got one point where you're supposed to be filling your water out. As to, like I mean, I saw there was a pack of bottles here now, right? If you go there, open one, close, it's gonna take you the whole day. You'll have very strong wrists. That's the one thing. But if you want to, the whole idea of business is you want to do things fast. So I would suggest you get a hose pipe, plug it on there, get a table. You take your bottles, place it on the table. With your hose pipe, you open one time and you fill quickly. And then you know, there's a lot of people selling all these filling machines, which is, you can fill by hand faster.
Yeah.
Where you just, because right now you're not yet at the level where to go automation.
Sure.
So filling by hand, you start.
I see Tabo is doing that. And Tabo Tibos is actually using the hose.
It's faster to
So,
fill.
to do those things. Even if when he drains it, he uses the hose. Anyway.
Yeah, I also do the, I connect there and when I drain, I connect and put the pipe in the swimming pool.
Yeah. Okay.
I connect the hose and it goes to the
And
swimming
as well, it's important to practice hygiene, especially when filling your bottles. Like you have to rinse the bottles first, you have to have your gloves on, you know, some hair on, so that no hair falls into the bottles. Because once you compromise the quality of your water, you have a big problem in the, and you don't want to have that name in the industry as well. Yeah.
I fully support what you're saying. I actually concur with you. Last time I was not happy, but I will not mention the name of the technician that came to my house.